You want to hear a joke about my father? One night when I was 12 years old, Dad decided to decorate the house for Christmas. He'd never done it before, but he'd just gotten a raise at work, and I guess he wanted to show off to the rest of the neighborhood. So about a week before Christmas, Dad goes out and buys up all the lights and decorations he could find. One store owner was so glad to get rid of everything so close to Christmas that he threw in an old Santa mannequin that had been cluttering up his storeroom. Dad brought it home and built his whole display around it. We didn't have this big brick chimney, so Dad just put Santa on the roof of the porch, peering into the window of my parents' bedroom. He ended up stringing red and green lights all up and down the windows and all up and down the trees and bushes. It took him a week to finish it, to get it just the way he wanted it. But when he finally lit it all up, the whole town came out to see it. Everyone. Cars driving around the block over and over again just to get a look at our house. Oh, I was sure this was going to be the best Christmas in the history of Christmases. Living in this cocoon of color and light. It was beautiful. So on Christmas Eve, Dad went downtown to this bar that he used to hang out in. He liked to spend Christmas Eve with his buddies before all the aunts and uncles would come over on Christmas. Anyways, by the time he got home, it was way past midnight. Mom and I were in bed, and Mom had turned out all the Christmas lights for the night. And I guess in the darkness, after drinking all night, Dad forgot about the Santa mannequin. Mistook it for a burglar or something. I woke up to hear shouting on the lawn, gunshots, breaking glass. I ran into Mom and Dad's room because I didn't know what was happening, only Mom and Dad weren't in bed, and it was cold, like someone had left the window open. So I looked, and there was my mother, just laying there, in the middle of all that shattered glass and blood. She must have been standing at the window when... And I just stood there. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't move. I couldn't say anything. I was still half asleep. But then the front door opened, and I heard footsteps running up the stairs. And I was terrified. I thought that whoever had been shouting on the lawn was coming to get me now, and I had nowhere to hide. There was nowhere to hide. And the only thing I could think of to do was lay beside my mother and play dead. So when Dad got to the door of the room, he saw me and my mom and all that blood. And he said something. Didn't really register at first. I was so scared and concentrating so hard on not moving. But then he stumbled backwards out of the room, and I heard him crying and saying, "No, no, no," over and over again. "No, no." And I recognized his voice. I realized it was Dad, but before I could say anything, there was another gunshot. And then he wasn't crying anymore.